Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Donovan the Smartphone Guy, and I'm here to do a first impressions video of the Alcatel Idol 4. So this is a phone that I picked up from Cricket Wireless for $100. I am a Cricket customer, so I took the quote-unquote upgrade to get this phone for $100. And you can unlock this phone for $2 on eBay, super cheap. So if you're interested and you want the Alcatel Idol 4, you can pick it up at Cricket, start a new line that you have to pay $30 for. So you're looking at $130 plus the $2 to unlock it. So $132 to get this phone basically unlocked for any GSM network. So I'm going to set that off to the side real quick while we look at the specs, just kind of we're going to run through these real fast because this is a phone that's been out for a couple months, so you're probably already familiar with it, but I just want to give you my first impressions of it so far. So it does come with a VR headset, which is pretty awesome. It does come with a charger. It's a 2-amp charger. It's not a Qualcomm fast charging charger, but it's still a relatively fast one. And then it does come with a screen protector as well. Down here, we have a 5.2-inch full HD display, so that's 1080p. And I will say this, it looks excellent, very excellent screen, and I'd say that's true of really all the Alcatel. The Alcatel Idol 3 had a really good screen. Same thing with the 4 and the 4S. So I've done a full review of the 4S back a couple months ago because I use that phone as my primary daily driver for basically a month and a half. So this does have an octa-core processor. This is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 617 processor, which is the same processor that you get in the G4 and the G4 Plus. And so far, it seems pretty snappy in my experience. 13 megapixel camera, and this is the same 13 megapixel camera that you get in the Alcatel Idol 4S. So they didn't skim on the camera side, and the camera on the 4S wasn't too bad. It shoots in 1080p on the back. It does have electronic image stabilization for videos, but not OIS, so there's no OIS on there. And then an 8 megapixel camera on the front, which is pretty decent. That also shoots in 1080p. And then we have the dual speakers, which is definitely a selling point of this phone. So we have the dual speakers in the front, and they are reversible, so you can actually hear that in the back as well. It is actually front flash as well. You can't see that, but there is a front flash right up here. And then we have the dual flash in the back as well. And reversible display, so that's pretty normal with this particular. So we can actually flip it up, which apparently I don't have that turned on right now. Let's see, where's my reversible display? Oh, there it is, reversible. Okay, so now when I flip it upside down, it should, in theory, there it goes. Okay, so it doesn't matter which way you're holding it, upside, you can't really hold it upside down. All right, so I actually don't like that, so I'm gonna shut that off. One other thing that worth mentioning about the phone that isn't mentioned in the box is that boom key. So this is something that's kind of different about the Alcatel Idol 4. Probably need to clean that screen off a little bit. It does have that boom key that you can use as a power key, so that unlocks the phone. But we do have the power button up there as well, volume rocker over here. But it does also do some special things. So when we have it on the screen here, I can turn it in to give that kind of like visual effect here. When you're listening to music, it changes to a more bassy sound when you do that. Or you can set it to some other kind of equalizer settings, which you can see also it has this max audio, which is also available on the 4S. Really, they did not skim very much going from the 4S to the 4. Really not a whole lot of compromises, in my opinion. The one thing that I would say is probably the biggest compromise is the battery. So with this battery, you're only getting I think it's like a 2700 milliamp hour battery, or maybe even a little bit smaller than that. Let me just double check. So 2610 milliamp hour battery, which so far, obviously I've only had it for a few hours. That battery life seems to not be all that great. Of course, that's downloading some apps and things like that. But with that said, nice, brilliant 1080p display, as they mentioned. It does come with a good deal of bloatware, so it comes with some games pre-installed like Asphalt 10, Cookie Jam, whatever the heck that is. It comes with this VR experience. This is called Little Star, and actually it's kind of nice. That kind of aggregates a whole bunch of VR apps into it that are compatible with the headset that it comes with, which is really nice. And I actually used that a little bit when I had the 4S. So a pretty decent VR experience with both phones. So it's kind of cool. This has a gyroscope, and you're talking $99 phone. This may be the best budget phone of 2016. I don't know. What do you guys think? It offers a lot and very few compromises for $100. Now the regular price of this phone is $249, but if you pick it up on Cricket, like I said, with all the things you can do to unlock it, you can get fully GSM unlocked for $132. You can see here we do have a few other VR options in there as well. There's our wax audio or wave audio, and we can adjust our EQ settings in here. And then it has like some presets here for music, for movie, general. If I can get that into focus, I might have the screen a little bit too bright. So the screen is quite bright, so it might be a little bit too bright there. But anyway, so far I'm going to say that going from the 4S, which I had for quite a while, to the 4, I honestly think that I may like this one better. It doesn't come with the case that one came with. It doesn't come with a tempered glass screen protector. It comes with a cheap plastic one. So, there's those couple little things that they skimp on, and it doesn't have a 2K display. This one only has 1080p, which I think is just fine for this phone. It looks really nice at 2K. A limitation, obviously, is that this is only available on Cricket, so you're going to have to at least get 1 month of service on Cricket in order to get this phone. So you're gonna have to pay that $30 for the 1 month of service. So that's a little bit of a limitation. It goes from a 652 processor down to the 617, which so far the 617 for me really hasn't been too bad. So just kind of give you a little quick Geekbench score. If I can find it, I think I already ran it at one point, but apparently I did not. Let's see if I have a screenshot of it. I think I took a screenshot, so let's just double check in our gallery. I think in here. So I did a video earlier, a couple videos with this actually. Few takes of that same video, it looks like. Okay, so there's the Geekbench score. So a single core score of 687 and a multi-core score of 2098. So let's go ahead and jump into just kind of like a web browser that I had. Actually, let's see what I got over here. So I got quite a few apps that I've run on it, and let's try Chrome. I had Android Authority up earlier. All right, so it did reload it right where I left off, and in terms of scrolling, you can see there was definitely some gaps there. And this is a website that's already been loaded, so definitely some scrolling gaps there. But overall, pretty nice experience. I did some games on it earlier. The gaming experience was pretty good. The areas that I would say are weaknesses definitely so far are battery life. And then it did get warm. This is really strange, but on the right side while I was playing some games, the right side of the phone got quite warm. The left side really didn't get warm. So the processors must be on the right side of the phone, because as I was holding it, I could definitely feel the warmth all on the right side, kind of right by that boom key and the volume key, right in that area. Kind of a strange thing, but as I do a full review in about a week, I'll let you know more about that as well. But again, till January 5th, as far as I know, this phone will be $100 available on Cricket Wireless. I'd do it on the website so you don't have to pay the $25 activation fee for sure. With that said, I do want to do one last thing before we end this video, and that is I want to listen to some music just so you guys can hear how good these speakers are. And I'll say this, on my Alcatel Idol 4S, I wasn't a huge fan of the speakers. They were a little bit tinny, but for some reason, I actually like them better on this 4, and I'm not exactly sure why, but let me know what you think. I'm going to try to find a song that's a little bit more bassy, hopefully. And so you guys can get a good listen to it.
Here's something to get stuck on this holiday
look
season.
at that. Cricket Wireless. How about that?
And get the Samsung Galaxy.
Okay. You guys don't care about that. All right, let's turn that up a little bit. So this is as loud as it gets. Completely reversible. So sound's coming out on both sides. Song gets bassy in just a second. Okay, I'll do the boom key in just a second here. Skip this ahead just a little bit. Get a little bit more bassy part of the song. I picked a bad song. This is not a bassy song, but let's hit that boom key just to get it. Let's make sure that activated the boom. All right, boom effects on. Okay, so the boom key there really just kind of activates a little bit more of a bass-heavy volume there. But anyways, it's kind of hard to tell with that song because it wasn't really a particularly bassy song. But overall, I would say that the speakers on here are definitely very good. Still not up to par with the Axon 7, which I think for 2016 was the best speakers on any phone. But still very good speakers for what you get for $100. But anyways, let me know what you guys think if you guys have any questions. This phone's been out for quite a while now. But if there's anything that you might have questions that I might be able to help you answer, go ahead and leave those down in the comment section. Please subscribe to this channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.